America is on a collision course between high levels of anxiety and the continued practice of bully styles of leadership. Leading organizations is already difficult. It's even harder to be productive when we're navigating through the effects of our personal trauma that we are bringing into the workplace. Did you know that just under 70% of all Americans indicate that they have experienced some form of trauma in their lifetime? In other words, what that means is if you have 100 employees, 70 of them could be really going through some things, and they may be bringing it back into the office. With the pandemic, the wildfires, the murder of George Floyd, and the bully leadership in our politics these days, I would suspect that that number is even higher. Businesses are not ready. They have failed to recognize the increasing needs of the social and emotional needs of their workforce. Hence, what we're going through right now is this great resignation, right? Let me share with you a story about a young child who became a sought-after executive and who exemplifies this perilous collision between personal trauma and working for some real shitty leaders. She was raised by her grandparents, and while her grandparents did the best job that they could, she was still exposed to alcohol and substance abuse. She was raped at 17. And around that same time, her grandparents disowned her when they discovered that she was dating a Black schoolmate. This childhood trauma really impacted Michelle. I mean, she really had some attachment issues, and she had this obsession with perfection. This little girl, yeah, she had to win those beauty pageants. She absolutely had to be the best and exceptional at everything that she did. Over the next 30 years, that resilience worked really well for her. I mean, she went on and earned her doctorate degree in leadership. She soared to national prominence, soared so high she busted through that ceiling and planted an FU flag right on top of that mountain. Yes, she did. You know how I know that story? My name is Dawn Michelle Emerick. I am Michelle. We're experiencing levels of stress, anxiety, and depression like we have never seen before, especially in our workplace. Did you know that SAMHSA actually has said their distressed helpline has indicated that they have seen an 890% increase in their call volume? I didn't say 89%. 890% increase in their call volume. And let me tell you, these are not strangers that are calling this number. These are people that we know. These are our neighbors. These are our teachers, our coworkers, our CEOs. Heck, they may have even been you, because none of us have been our best selves lately. None of us. 1 out of 4 women are choosing to step back or step out of the workplace altogether. 52% of Americans' workers are looking for new jobs in places with businesses that are known for their compassion, for their purpose, and their strong sense of belonging and inclusion. I was one of those women. I was one of those women who made the excruciating decision to step down after only 5 months in a new executive role. My childhood trauma was triggered almost on a daily basis based on the interactions that I was having with my bully boss. The stress was overwhelming. There were most days where I chose to fight through it, but there became a day when I knew that it was time for me to resign. And I'm going to be clear. I didn't resign, and I didn't step down from that job because I wasn't fit for the job. I stepped down and I resigned because of the persistent pattern of abuse that I was actually experiencing on the job. Let me give you an example of the kind of culture that we're talking about that are in our workplaces. The day that I chose to resign, I went to HR, and rather than HR holding the bully boss accountable, HR actually told me their advice was for me to fake a positive COVID test so that I could actually avoid my boss for 2 weeks. They said, go home, just rest for 2 weeks, come back, and let's have a conversation about it. I didn't do that, but the bullying continued. I submitted my letter of resignation. My bully boss released my letter of resignation to the media and then facilitated a very personal and a very public shaming campaign against me for all the world to see. My perfect career train was thrown off the track. That ceiling that I busted, I fell through it and I hit the floor with a thud. I had fallen from grace. The public shaming was so deep and so strong that I thought of ways of trying to completely eliminate myself from existence, from changing my name that I'd worked so hard for, to taking my life. The business community is not ready for this. We see the trauma tsunami heading toward us. We see it, but we're not ready. But I have a solution. Trauma-informed care is well documented to be a very effective method for promoting healing and recovery. If trauma-informed care is so effective in the clinical setting, then it's time to bring it into our workplace and train leaders how to lead today's workforce using those same trauma-informed principles. So I'm going to give you a little exercise. I want you to think about something. In your head, I want you to think about a business that you have either led or that you are currently working for or have worked for. And I want you to make a mental note in your head every time you answer yes to the following questions. All right, here we go. Is this business emotionally safe? Is this business transparent with its major decisions? Is this business collaborative across the entire enterprise? Is this business cognizant of how racial trauma, discrimination, and culture impacts employee experiences? Does this organization acknowledge and give space to personal trauma? And does this organization, this business, allow staff to have a voice? How'd you score? How many times did you say yes? If you said 4 or more, congratulations, you're working for a pretty effective organization. I need to correct something. I made a mistake earlier, but let me just correct this real quick. I didn't fall from grace. I fell with grace. And I am motivated as hell to change the way that we lead in this country and start a new paradigm, a paradigm that trains 1 million trauma-informed leaders in the United States by 2031. Leadership is a responsibility. It is not an entitlement. You are not entitled to lead. It is a responsibility. Leadership, where leaders need to own their own trauma and heal from their own trauma so that they can be the best leaders that they can be. And leaders who will stop asking staff, what is wrong with you, to what has happened to you, and how can we help you? I'm here, I'm alive, I'm empowered, and I'm challenging all of you to come with me. Come with me and the thousands of Michelles as we change the way that we lead in the United States, that we make 1 million trauma-informed leaders by 2031, and then we're going to take over the world. Thank you.